Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would answer a question I got the other day. Someone asked me, you know, obviously this assumes that you're already doing a basic program of some type and you're doing your basic big lifts. What exercises really would bring the most to the table for someone who just wants to look more aesthetic? And I'm going to give my honest opinion on this. I think curls, pullovers, and calf raises. Right? If a person is genuinely chasing that sort of look, which I'm not quite there yet in these videos, I've been working on it recently. I've been doing, powerlifting for years and years. And I've relatively quickly gotten more aesthetic, but I'm not where I need to be in these videos. Where would I say most people should put their efforts in terms of just lots and lots of pump work? And I really think that's what would do it. And I think the curls is the obvious one. Bigger biceps, especially again, we're talking about when walking down the street, guys. People notice your biceps. And we can talk about triceps all we want, the tricep being bigger, but people notice those biceps, especially from the front. Okay, kind of a big deal, and especially when you're in a t-shirt. Big biceps go a long way for making it look like you lift in it when you're in a short sleeve shirt. They really do. And a lot of times the other men judge themselves by that. Women don't always notice that as much, but other dudes, we notice the biceps, we notice the arms. Because for us, that's like a sign of masculinity, big, strong arms. Because men develop those easier than women do. So biceps, biceps, biceps. But again, I'm talking about doing full range of motion biceps. I'm talking about actually building the biceps with curls. Doing them through a full range of motion in a way that's healthy for the tendons. But, there could be a case to be made for someone who really is trying to do that, doing curls all the time. Okay? Doing lots and lots of them. I'm not saying they're a replacement for your other stuff, but it's something you're going to want to put more volume into and just lots and lots of pump work. Again, trying to get that bicep vein, trying to get just a thicker arm. And it could be, whatever curls you want to do. And actually, the time I'm making this video, I'm kind of starting with a little experiment to see what happens with my biceps or something. But yeah, curls make sense. Again, that one's usually obvious. And I think trying to build massive delts, I think, is a little overrated because a lot of the classic physiques didn't have the same delt proportions current bodybuilders do. They just didn't. Okay, so you need a context for that. And all this stuff that we're doing builds delts anyways. All right, and I think an interesting one is going to be when I get to the pullover. Calves. I think calves is another obvious one. Why? A lot of guys don't have good leg development. People notice calves. All right, I want to state that again. I genetically have really big, thick, ripped calves. I've started working them recently, but, people have always noted, you have ridiculous calves. People notice this. I have been complimented on my calves by women dozens of times when out in shorts. They notice. And it's not what you would think of like, oh, is it older women? No, it's younger women. And it doesn't even seem to follow any particular demographic. I've had my calves commented on by women of a wide variety of backgrounds. So just making a note of that. They notice, plus the other thing, let's come over what's a classic aesthetic. Upper arm and the calf being the same size. Okay, that used to be actually part of classic type bodybuilding. They looked for that proportion. That was written about in books way back in the day for the golden era type stuff. Like in an ideal world, that your upper arm and your calf measurement should be the same. Okay, so again, if you're trying to create a visual balance, but again, keeping in mind how many guys don't have good calves. And a lot of people know, well, a lot of heavier, fatter guys have big calves just from walking around. Okay, true. A lot of guys who chase the leaner, more aesthetic look tend to have less load on those calves. So for them to keep them proportionate, they probably are going to want to focus on them a lot more. All right, they're going to want to focus on them a lot more. And I would say working the calves from multiple angles, standing and seated, building big calves. And keep in mind, calf development held Arnold back in the day, and then he spent a whole bunch of time dedicated to calf development. He even supposedly, some people said he got calf implants, and I do believe that to be the case. That he probably got implants there also. Again, you're also seeing guys out there getting calf implants who are not competitive bodybuilders. Okay, so think about that for a minute. All right, and no, I'm not going to say abs because that's mostly diet. Even though I do abs, it's diet. We're not going to go there. I don't think that's that important. But the calves, absolutely. Calves, biceps. This makes a lot of sense. Right? It makes a lot of sense. Pullover. And that's going to be one that I don't think people are going to expect, but hear me out on this. Think about what the pullover does in terms of just helping with your overall posture, with your overall rib cage, working all the serratus, intercostals, all of that. It can really help those. But then you look at what else it does. I feel like it's helped reshape my chest. This is stuff Jamie Lewis and I have talked about a lot. That a lot of the old school guys had a different shape to their chest, and they lived on pullovers. Okay, they lived on pullovers. But really, if you think about it, what is it going to help you do? It's going to help you, and it can even help you learn to do vacuums better, which again can help you have a smaller waistline just in general, because you're going to more easily just be in a more sucked in position. But it can help you get better at those. But again, the whole stretch on the chest, it seems to really reshape the chest a lot. It is a fantastic lat and chest exercise. So again, helps you develop a thicker torso off of one exercise. And it can really be a big complement to the other stuff we do. It does work the delts. It can help with the rear delt quite a bit too, I feel. Because I feel that area and stuff there more. It helps balance all of that. And then we come to that long head of the tricep. It throws in extra stretch work for the long head of the tricep, and it will probably help build it. So again, we talk about triceps. A lot of times the long head is the one that lags the most. It's the hardest to develop. And then we're talking about, that the aesthetics to it. So notice for me, my long head and my tricep lags a bit. It's because I've done years and years of bench pressing and powerlifting and focus on the others. But it's the biggest head. It's the one that creates really that visual thickness from the side. It's that side view that it adds. So if you're really trying to create a thick upper torso and to streamline everything, the pullover brings a lot to the table. And I would say that's where I would put my other focus. And I'm assuming you're already probably doing some benching or pull-ups or rows and other stuff. So again, we're talking about really putting the finishing touches, what's going to really bring, help everything stand out and really create kind of a shape most guys are looking for in a balance. I think a heavy focus on these three things would do the most in terms of changing this. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.